Hello, this is Stephen Cuffey reporting to you from Virginia, the USA. This is my 52nd, number 52 live broadcast since we started live broadcasting on March 21st of 2018 through TBC. I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. Now, right now, I don't see any viewers at this moment, but there probably may be something coming through. But for those that's starting late, um, coming in late, you're more than happy to rewind this and look at the recording because it's recording as we speak. But this is a live broadcast. Now, I want to talk a little about, and many weeks ago, a month ago, I talked about poverty and our mission. But I just want to center right in on poverty right this moment. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some startling statistics that I came about. You know, poverty brings on hunger. Later brings on famine. I mean, it's just remarkable. But to understand that what in TBC, what we're doing, we're building our own community, our own economy on separate from our current monetary system. Now, right now, it looks like I only got one viewer at this time, but we're going to get going anyway. Okay. All right. So let me read some things to you, and I want y'all to just listen to this. This is just startling. Okay. Around the world, 767 million people live in extreme poverty with less than $1.90 per person per day. Did you hear that? I'm going to read that again. Around the world, 767 million people live in extreme poverty with less than $1.90 per person per day, an amount which is impossible to support a healthy livelihood in any part of the world. I agree with that. And this is titled Poverty Leads to Hunger. 1 in 3 children in low and middle income poverty countries. I'm going to read that again. 1 in 3 children in low and middle income countries suffer from chronic undernutrition. Without a sustainable source of income at a sufficient level, young children and their families do not have access to nutritious food, clean water, or health care. And the deadly effects of undernutrition cannot be underestimated. Listen to this. 45% of all children worldwide are causes related to undernutrition, or 3.1 million children per year. Wow. 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 These are some global poverty facts. Here are some statistics that show the scale of global poverty and its devastating effects. Number 1, as I stated, 767 million people, or 10.7% of the population, live in extreme poverty with less than $1.90 per day. Number 2, 2 billion, not million, 2 billion people live on less than $3.10 per day. Wow, that's a lot of people. Number 3, 328 million children are living in extreme poverty. Number 4, at least 17 million children suffer from severe acute undernutrition around the world. Severe acute malnutrition is a direct cause of death for 1 million children every year. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. Number 5, every single day, 1,000 children under 5 die from illnesses like diarrhea, other type of diseases that we say, caused from contaminated water and inadequate, sanitation. Yes, all kind of diseases come from that. Okay, now where is there extreme poverty in the world? Let's look at some locations around the world. Let's see, where is extreme poverty? Africa is a continent with the largest number of people living in extreme poverty. Yes, Africa is. Now think about that now. We have more people in Africa in TBC in that continent than any other continent in the world. So think about the correlation. If we got as many people, more concentration of people in the billion coin, and we got poverty here, imagine what can happen. Okay, this is the breakdown of where people are living for $1.90 per day are located. There are 383 million people in Africa. There are 327 million in Asia. There's 19 million in South America, 13 million in North America, 2.5 million in Oceania, and 0.7 million in Europe. See, there's not a lot. It's not near as much poverty in Europe that it is, say, in Africa or say in Asia. Most of the poverty are in Asia and Africa. Wow. So when you see those things come on your TV screen of commercials or programs or documentaries of whatever is going on TV, and you see these people, people in hungry and poverty, living in extreme poverty. These are where they're located mostly. Okay? I like to say something to you. Here in the Billion Coin, we have the solution to help so many people in poverty. And think about the number of people we have in the Billion Coin right now. Over 3.2 million people. What if even just half of that amount took in one child that was in poverty, or one family that was in poverty? What impact could we have? Do you see why? And I'm gonna have to think. I do this every live broadcast. I have to thank admin for creating this awesome platform of the Billion Coin, so that we can help as many people in poverty as we can. See, our admin understood. They did their homework on different poverty throughout the world. They knew the problems we have around the world. So while they're creating 1 million billionaires and 1 billion millionaires, they want to create, dams for the rivers, apartment buildings, businesses. Get this coin out to merchants all over the world. Have our own economic platform, and not so much of that fiat of the elite. Now, what I'm doing here in this live broadcast, what I wanted to do was to give you some numbers of the poverty that's all around the world. I'm going to read a few more to you. This is titled, Children Living in Extreme Poverty. It is estimated that 104 million children under five are living in extreme poverty, while the number extends to 328 million of children under 18. Children suffer the most when living in poverty. They are young, developing bodies of less resilient to effects of living without clean water, food, or health care. As a result, many children living in poverty suffer from malnutrition and disease. If left untreated, which is common due to limited access to health care, they cannot survive. It is estimated that only 10% of children suffering from severe acute malnutrition receive treatment. Did you hear that? Less than 10% of children suffering from this acute severe malnutrition is receiving treatment. So think about all the other rest of them. Think about everybody else that's not even getting treatment. Essentially what they're doing, they're dying. Did you hear that? They're dying. Gosh. Mm, mm, mm. Wow, wow. Mm. Mm. So, do you think we need to take action? Take more of action, be more active in our the Billion Coin and getting this word out to people? We haven't, like we talk, like they're talking in Randy, and they talk about banks and all this other stuff. You know one thing? We haven't even scratched the surface here in a Billion Coin yet. We're just trying to get our coins stable enough to have transactions. We're nowhere near where we need to be. To be talking about things like a bank or those type of things. So keep in mind, people, this is important. This is so important. What I want to do is just talk about, like I said, poverty. You know, my thing is that if we don't get more active than we are in the Billion Coin, you know, oh, look like Jewel came. She came about. Okay, okay. I see Sky and Lisa, and Kenny, and Joe Stevens is here. Thank you for the three of y'all being here along with Jewel. Thank you so much. I just want to convey to you that, as you made sure, I'm sure a lot of the people that's here know, we have an extreme problem with poverty in some extreme acute areas around the world. And in major country, you know, I find it interesting, as I said just a few minutes ago, that the continent that has most poverty is where? Africa. So if we have the majority of our TBC members in that particular continent, don't you think they really need to get busy and reaching out to as many people in Africa as possible? And I'm not saying they're not doing it, but we got to keep building those numbers more and more and more. We got to keep building it. So we need to talk about those outside things that we talk about, like you know, migration and all those things happening that's important in our development. We have to be mindful what our mission is. It doesn't matter how much money we have in our wallets if we don't know what our mission is. Or let me better yet, do we know what TBC is and what it isn't, and what's our correct role in it? If we don't know these things, we have to ask ourselves, why are we in the Billion Coin? Because when I read those type of statistics to you, I don't know if it has an effect on you in any way, but I know it has effect on me. See, if I had my way, I would take the majority of the money in my, if I could, I'd take the majority of the money that I have in my wallet. And there's many millions there. And I will go overseas and start all kind of foundations and doing all kinds of things to have an impact on those people that's starving, no proper health care, don't have proper food. They're building huts for houses. I watched a video online and almost made tears come out my eyes. Our older son was taking care of his little brother who the older son couldn't even go to school because he had to take care of his little brother while the mother had wood carrying over her head and on top of building a hut for people. That's how she made her earning. She couldn't even stay home to take care of her little child. So the older one had to take, he was only about maybe 10, between 10 and 12 years old, taking care of his little brother. You see, this happens every day all over the world. People are drinking water that's not clean. And as a result, they're getting diarrhea and they're dying because they can't get treated for the diarrhea. Do you understand what's happening across the world? So how are we going to help those people? And I meant what I said. I know I can't do it, but if I could take the majority of the millions that's in my wallet, I would help other people. I don't know about you, but I don't need all this is in my wallet to survive. I create other money making opportunities online to make my cash come through. I'm patient with the Billion Coin. I'm not in a hurry to do anything with the Billion Coin. I'm not in a hurry for a bank. I know that bank is so, if we ever have a fiat currency exchange, that is so far away right now. We don't even have a stable coin yet. We haven't got a stable transactions yet. There's no bank gonna partner with us with the problems we having on our network. And even when we get into migration and when things go smoothly, it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a while before we got to keep building our numbers. We got to keep bringing people into our TBC, and while we bringing them in TBC, we got to be educating them. And some of these people may be in poverty. Can you imagine if you took a very person that's dirt poor, that have much of nothing, and you get them involved, you sponsor them into TBC. You pay for them to get in there. You give them the money to purchase whatever. I don't know. I'm just creating things in my head right now. Do whatever you can to get them involved. Maybe they have some goods and services that you can use. It don't have to be fiat. We have to do what we can to help people more than we are. Oh, right. I agree with you. See, I got a person that agrees with me, Joe. He would do it. Do you think I need 100? Oh, gosh. I guess by the time I put that redeem button, I probably have about close to $300 million in my account. Do you think I need that kind of money to survive for the rest of my life? I don't even need a quarter of it to survive and live comfortably. I would rather use 85%, at least 85% of the income I have in my wallet to help the people that I just read about. That's just me. That's just me. I'm not talking about anyone else. That's just me. I have a soft heart for those type of people. Because I said to myself, what if I was raised in a with all that famine, all that what's going on overseas? I could have been just like those people. But I was blessed with older brothers and sisters to lead me the right way. I had good parents. I had good role models all around me all the time. I always had a roof on my head and clothes on my back and food to eat. But not even everybody in TBC haven't even experienced that. And while an adult, I've done some things to broaden my mindset. I've traveled. I've been on many. You're talking about cruises. Sure, I plan to be on that cruise, but I've been on 7 already. I know all about Royal Caribbean. But I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm saying it to express upon you that every person can live just like that or better. But it's something that we got to change first. And it's called what? Mindset. We got to change our mindset. If we really believe in our cause of the Billion Coin, if we really believe in our mission of the Billion Coin, then why don't I ever hear anyone saying, even our members, even some of our leaders, why am I the only one saying that I'm a student of the TBC blog? Why is that? Notice I didn't say read the blog. I said become a student of the TBC blog. Why am I so knowledgeable? And I'm not saying other people are not knowledgeable. Because see, I look at knowledge as power. I'm gonna give you an example. Of something that happened to me today. I had one of my Facebook friends over in India message me. And he asked me the question, he had a question. And guess what his question was, which happened to be one of the questions on our migration before you go into migration, one of those 10 questions. That tells me that person wasn't plugged in, haven't even looked at any questions, haven't been on any other live broadcasts. He asked the question, who is admin? Who TBC admin? You know what I said to him, right? I said, if you're reading the blog, you would know that that's never been identified. And that's not for us to know. I asked him that Satoshi Nakamoto, I'm not sure if I pronounce his word, the supposedly creator of Bitcoin. Have that person ever been identified? Had been identified? That's what I said to him. No, no. Has that stopped Bitcoin from being successful? And they're building Bitcoin ATMs all over the place right here. ATMs, 15 minutes from my home right here locally. Do you think us knowing who admin is significant? No. That is one of the questions for migration. One of the answers, no. It doesn't matter who that is. That has nothing to do with your success in TBC. And after when I said that all to him and being a student, guess what he said? You're right, my friend. I knew I was right about it all along. Just like I knew the 10 answers to the 10 questions before Randy and you know, Dan Lux went over it. I knew the answers to those questions. I'm telling you, if we are not serious about what we're trying to do here in our Billion Coin, we need me. You know, Mary said something like, we need more people. They're talking about people in banks. We need people more on board with TBC. And Randy said, whoa, you're right. We need more people. We need more people being busy, not just bodies, not just joiners. We need more builders. So I want to thank all of you for being here today. I really do. I want to thank everyone for being here today because I don't know about you, but I'm as serious as I can be about this, the Billion Coin and its mission. I tell you what, I don't know, you know, if, you know, when I think, I got to say this much about, I guess it's on my mind about what they were talking about in Randy's live broadcast about the banking system and things of that sort. Frankly, I don't need any of the cash. If they wanted to do, if they gave me or able to you change it for goods and services for people overseas to help them out, that's what I would want. It don't have to be in a fiat form, but see, that's what we can do now already. But you just got to negotiate with another person. They still could be used for goods and services. Well, I'm at the end of my live broadcast. As you can see, I got a lot of feelings about helping people. Jules, thanks so much. Don't worry about it, dear, for being. Don't worry about being my moderator coming in late. I realize everybody has a life too. They got things. You got someone sick. You got someone sick. You got someone sick in the hospital. They take precedence over being my moderator. So we got to take care of our family. And by the way, Jules, you do an awesome job on your live broadcast. I try to make every one of them if I can. The one that you were on recently, the last one you were on, it was early in the morning. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning my time. But I still was there. Because it pops up on my laptop. And I click on it. I may be lying in bed and I see it pop on my laptop. Like right now, I see, right now, Sheila Mitchell is live right now. That's SHEILAH. SHEILAH Mitchell. She's live on her live broadcast now. Everybody's stepping out. This is one lady that hasn't been doing it that long. She stepped out of her comfort zone. She can get it done. My God. Thank you so much. Thank you, TBC. I'll be back tomorrow. You know, same time. And slot 15 of the live broadcast schedule has already been scheduled for tomorrow. That's usually my slot. Y'all have an awesome day. And thank you for everyone that's here. And for those that did not see this, you can just play in the beginning and catch the part that you missed. But this was a time just to talk about poverty a little bit and those startling numbers of starvation around and suffering, people suffering around the world. So again, thank you so much for being here today. You know, Lawrence. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you so much. You're so correct about everything you say. I support you too. You do an awesome job as being leader over there in South Africa. Thank you so much for everyone being here today. So this is Stephen Cuffey signing out from Virginia of the United States, which is on the east coast of the United States. I may be far from Jules and Lawrence and several people here, but Bitcoin Scott, another person does an awesome job. We got some people that's here today that do an awesome job on their live broadcast. Yes, we're the ones that's getting it done. We are the VIPs. We're the leaders in the Billion Coin. Let's keep the work. Keep pushing forward. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.